Hi, this is G from Native Speakers Academy, and welcome to 10-Minute English. This is where we introduce short articles from the news or from around the internet for upper intermediate and advanced level students. These short articles, with the information that they contain, will supplement some of the courses taken in our school. If you would like more information about our school, it's www.nsa-slovakia.com, and we have hundreds of resources for teachers and students, not just in the area of language, also in the area of history, philosophy, and on and on. You can also try and visit our YouTube pages where we have hundreds of videos related to education. You might even want to have a look at our Pinterest pages where we have 13 boards with almost 3,000 pins, which is well, that's just a lot of information, basically. So today's article that I would like to look at has the title Chuck Norris versus Communism. Now, I imagine that most of you know who Chuck Norris is, but just in case you don't, here's a Wikipedia webpage with a little bit of information. Carlos Ray Chuck Norris, born March the 10th, 1940, is an American martial artist, actor, film producer, and screenwriter. After serving in the United States Air Force, he began his rise to fame as a martial artist and has since founded his own school. So, Chuck Norris appeared in a number of action films such as Way of the Dragon, in which he starred alongside Bruce Lee. He was the Cannon Group's leading star in the 1980s. He played the starring role in the television series Walker, Texas Ranger from 1993 until 2001. So that's a bit of background information for you. As usual, I have highlighted the challenging vocabulary in yellow. You might want to pause the video and make a note of the vocabulary that is there. You can use Google Define. Just write define into Google followed by the word that you wish to have more information about, or you can use the online etymology dictionary to get the history of the word and a little bit of a story. Here's a word I looked at earlier: educate. Educate, and let's see, educate as a verb. One of the original meanings is bring out. I think that's quite interesting because modern education tends to inform rather than bring out. Perhaps we have lost our direction somewhere in time. So, let's do it. Let's get on with the article. Now, this article is a little bit of a challenge because it's written by somebody who takes a real interest in their writing. So there's a lot of creative examples of the English language here. So hopefully this will introduce you to some new words and phrases. The year was 1985. In Bucharest, Romania, boys kicked broken bottles and chased after stray dogs between drab, grey concrete projects and past food ration lines, seeking scraps from nearly empty groceries, always on the lookout for Nicolae Ceausescu's dreaded secret police. 20 years of communist rule and Ceausescu's systemization scheme of socialist urban planning had turned Bucharest into an ugly concrete crypt. You can always tell when a writer enjoys writing an article. Even more tightly sealed than a crypt was the people's access to information, as Ceausescu completely cut off Romania from Western media. Subjected to the communist dictator's highly censored propaganda, broadcast on only 2 hours of television a day, Romanians knew nothing of the world's technology, news, art, or abundance. For a boy identified only by the first name of Bogdan, in the spellbinding new film Chuck Norris vs. Communism, which debuted recently at the Sundance Film Festival, the only life he had ever known in Bucharest was one of hopelessness. So perhaps to supplement this article, you might want to see if you can find more information about this film. So the only life he had ever known in Bucharest was one of hopelessness. But then he saw Chuck Norris. Bogdan, now a grown man, describes with childlike joy the day he rustled together just a few Romanian lei, I think that's lei, I'm not sure, as his entrance fee to a home where daring citizens were showing an American film smuggled into Bucharest on VHS. The first film I saw was in a small apartment. It smelled of damp, but it didn't matter. Bogdan relates in Chuck Norris vs. Communism, for those few dozen Romanians cramped into a smelly apartment, but transfixed by the images before them, it was their first glimpse of the West's technological advances, its landscape cities, beautiful cars, and full grocery stores where meat and sweets could be had in plenty. It's really hard, I think, for us in the modern world to imagine what it was like in the Western modern world, to imagine life without the securities that we now enjoy. And I often wonder what it would be like to live without those securities. Not that I want to live without those securities, of course I don't, but what if the bus drivers just didn't get out of bed in the morning? What if the shop owners didn't open their shops? It would be pretty interesting. So that's when I realized how far behind the West we were. Notes another woman interviewed in the film. Bogdan describes watching Norris's movie Lone Wolf McQuade, amazed at the action hero calm in the face of danger and resolve in the face of adversity. He was engrossed in the story. No panic, no anger. He was in control. I thought it was real, Bogdan marvels. I can see myself, mouth wide open, eyes peeled. It's okay, we'll make it. Of course, I can do it. You can do it. As Chuck Norris vs. Communism details, with spy novel-like intensity, those first few VHS tapes smuggled over the border in the trunk of a car and dubbed for Romanians by a woman inside Ceausescu's own administration, soon grew to thousands of Hollywood movies seen across the country in underground viewings, basements, and homes with curtains drawn tight. The fleeting images of freedom stirred a hunger in the people, seeds of a movement that would one day lead to revolution and the overthrow of Ceausescu and his communist cronies. In a column exclusively appearing in WND, Chuck Norris explains he was humbled and honored to see reported that his action movies inspired Romanians like Bogdan. However, Norris writes, the total truth is that without the common people rising up, rebelling and supporting freedom, change and democracy, the motivation from my movies would have been short-lived and even missing in action. Perhaps we can even highlight that last phrase, missing in action. We can highlight it if I can find the highlighter. There we go. The source of this article is WND, which means World Net Daily. A link to the original article will be posted online with this short session. Quite a lot of descriptive, creative language there. It's nice. It's a nice article. As I was reading, I had a few thoughts. These are my notes. Media. All media is used as propaganda to change culture. All media, without exception. All media is a message to change, to be different. Med, meaning in the middle, between, a conduit. Even alternative media, as it alters the native, alternative. Here's a thought in the news. Why is an anchorman called an anchorman? I used to tell my students, if there's only one program you watch, watch the news. Now I'm not so sure that's a good idea. What is an anchor? What does it do? It's my question for you. Think about it. The newsman psychologically anchors the information in your mind. That's why he's there at the end. So, thank you for your time and attention. If you would like more information about what we do, it's www.nsa-slovakia.com. If you're interested, you might want to take one of our special one-to-one online study courses. Just send us an email if you're interested. And let's see if we can finish with a little bit of Chuck and Bruce. Ah, there we go. It's a classic. So, if you want, you can link to us through Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, and lots of other social forums. If you want to give us some feedback on this presentation, that would be great. Tell us how we can make it better. That's about all we have time for. So, bye for now. And I hope to speak to you really soon.